Hey friends, it's Sarah Joy. Welcome back to my channel. I know you've probably heard this already from so many people, but let me just tell you, Thanksgiving is next week. And so I wanted to take the video today to bring some Thanksgiving charm into your life, give you some of my favorite recipes, show you how I'm decorating our table this year, and in sharing with you some of my favorite things of the season. So let's get into it. So first of all, let me admit, I have not always been a Thanksgiving person. I used to think it was just kind of lame. I didn't love the food. I thought it was just like a Christmas warm-up, no gifts, it was just kind of lame. And then something early into my adulthood just sparked. And I realized that Thanksgiving is so great, like a chill day, a little crisp in the air, getting to like smell and prep and make all these decadent foods and just enjoy time with family. Oh, and one more thing, decorating the table because I always love that. So Thanksgiving has really evolved into a lot of charm and a lot of sentimental things for me. And I'm sure it's like that for many of you as well. This year, I am so looking forward to Thanksgiving because this is the first one that we will be hosting in our own home. There is no place that I'd rather be than in our own home this Thanksgiving, making some foods and just hanging out. So today I want to share with you some great things that you might be able to incorporate into your Thanksgiving day. Here we go. The first one is the morning of Thanksgiving. This is probably my favorite part of the day before even the meal and all that stuff because it's just, I don't know, it's just got such good elements to it. You wake up in the morning and you might stay in your jammies a little bit longer. You might watch the parade. I know the parade, it's better in my head than it actually is on the screen, but it's just part of it, you kind of put on the parade or you put on some fun music and you have some festivities to look forward to that day, and you can just start eating something great and kind of hanging out, having a really chill, extended morning all the way into lunch. And at least that's how it is for us over here. We like to start the day with like a fuller, kind of hors d'oeuvre breakfast. And so I have a couple ideas to share with you for some things that we do for that parade snacking period. One of them is truly one of my favorites. I get like little brioche toasts. You can find them at one of your grocery stores around. I know they sell them at Trader Joe's, they sell them at like Whole Foods. So get these little brioche toasts and you're gonna top them with brie and with a little bit of cranberry sauce and put them in the broiler for a few minutes and then take them out and top them with a little bit of rosemary, and they are incredible. So I highly recommend those. I love like a good decadent like brie to start the day. Another thing that we really like is a family recipe of pumpkin bread, and I've had it on my blog I think for a couple years now, but it's incredible and you should totally try it. Since then I've actually modified it a little bit to be gluten-free. I also put less sugar in it. I use coconut oil. Like, I've just modified it. So just know that if you're looking at the recipe and you would think, oh, I would probably tone down on the sugar a little bit, or I'm gluten-free, like just swap it out with cassava flour, put coconut oil in it, and just sub it out that way and it'll still turn out like perfectly fine. If you think that sounds a little bit too rich for you, it definitely turns out kind of like a pound cake, like really dense and moist, and then the really good frosting on top. If that sounds a little too rich for you for that like breakfast period, you can also opt out of the frosting and just make them into muffins and have that ready to go. And they are so good. It smells so amazing. Make sure that you add the clove because I feel like that is the #1 ingredient, but it is super great. So I will link the recipe below because you have to try that. Another thing that I want to point out that really makes the atmosphere is the type of playlist that you choose to play. Two of my favorites that I am going to right now that are just so full of the feels are both on Spotify. Again, I will link them below. You're gonna have a ton of links today in this description. But the first one is by the Eden Symphony Orchestra, and they play different movie scores and show tunes and some Christmas songs. And it is just so good. Like, those songs are so sentimental and so good and just have all of the right elements to it. So you definitely have to check out that playlist. And then I also love a good vintage Disney playlist. So like the really old movies, the scores from those, the scores and the soundtracks from those movies are just so spot on. And, you know, they create them to pull on your heartstrings. So it's just a really good, like, whimsical, sentimental playlist to have on. And I think it really sets the atmosphere. So check those out as well. The next thing is getting into the meal. So I know you probably have your own set of recipes and you don't deviate from them a lot. We make so many dishes on Thanksgiving. It's actually kind of crazy how much food that we make, but there are so many different family recipes that we always go to, and so I feel like I have a couple at least that are a little bit different that you might decide to try this year. First of all, I will say I collaborated with a couple friends last year to come out with a Thanksgiving cookbook that has completely different ingredients from the normal stuff that you would see. So a lot of them are refined sugar-free or gluten-free, and then several of them are vegan or vegetarian options. And so if any of that sounds good to you, I will again link that cookbook. It has several recipes in it. I can't remember how many, but it's a lot. And they are all like good ingredient recipes. At that point in my life, I was not eating dairy. Since then, we have changed our diet and are completely into dairy. But one of the recipes that I have in there is a stuffed mushroom. It's a recipe that's been in our family for a long time, and basically the essence of it, you can't really mess it up, is they're mushrooms and they are stuffed with Swiss cheese and heavy cream, and they are divine. So if you're one of the people who can't really tolerate dairy, but you'd really like to try something like that, the recipe that I have is a pretty good dupe for something that tastes like Swiss cheese. But that's one of my favorite recipes that I look to every single Thanksgiving. As well as, there's another one that's completely heavenly and you need to try. I am not even totally sure that this product is still being sold, so forgive me if it's not, but Trader Joe's sells, one, they sell turkey meatballs in their frozen section, and two, they sell a box mix called stuffing muffins. And you mix them with dried cranberries. So essentially it's just like a stuffing mix, but you mix it with dried cranberries and then you stuff it with like half of a turkey meatball and bake them in muffin tins and top them with gravy, and they're incredible. So I've heard nothing but good things about them. I think it's pretty easy. Like if you wanted to try to make that yourself, I think you can get some ground turkey, probably season it, make your own meatballs, and then stuff them inside of stuffing with cranberries and serve it with gravy. But that is truly amazing and should not be taken for granted. I will say whenever I'm cooking them, I always cook them way longer than what it says on the package because I want the top to be like a little bit crunchier and then the middle to be fluffy instead of the whole thing to be soft. But it really just depends on how you like your stuffing. As many of you know, I have also dabbled in some recipes here and there over time, and so a couple years ago, I also did a really big post on all of these different fall foods that you can make. And so I did a bunch of different fall recipes that would go good as like a breakfast or a brunch. So I will also link that in the description for you to check out all of those recipes. But they're super, super yummy and beautiful and colorful and have all the flavors of the season. So make sure to check that out. The next tip that I want to give you for your meal is the turkey. And while I am not endorsing this brand because I don't really think they're like the cleanest brand, if you want the most delicious turkey that you've ever had and you want to have the appearance of making it yourself, buy the Jennie-O bagged turkey. It is flawless. I'm not playing with you. We threw some Thanksgiving parties like for youth group kids, like little Friendsgiving parties. And so we decided to make a turkey. And so we went to the store and just bought one of those and I popped it in the oven. I don't even think it takes that long to make. I can't really remember, but it wasn't like this huge ordeal. And we just pop it in and it comes with a gravy packet and it is the most tender, juicy turkey. so flavorful they've ever had. So I truly recommend that one. It's probably the best turkey. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm so sorry to all my relatives and friends, but your turkey does not compare to Jenny O. The next thing is, I want to show you something that I am vibing with for this year's Thanksgiving table decoration. I've had these Anthropologie dishes for quite some time. We got them for our wedding, but I haven't really been able to use them that much yet because we have not always lived in a house and had a table to use. So here is a tablescape that I made with them. These dishes are like so great. They're just so pretty. They have the prettiest gold leafing and they're hand painted and they're just incredible. So I wanted to go with kind of like a high contrast vibe. I always love candlesticks. I always love a little bit of greenery on the table. And so this is what I came up with. One of the last things that I like to do is put up the Christmas tree early, but not put any decorations on it until Thanksgiving Day, just so that we have some light to look forward to in the evenings and something that just feels a little warmer and cozy. But we don't go full Christmas until Thanksgiving afternoon usually, while we're watching the dog show, which is like my favorite thing to do. And so I'm gonna put up my Christmas tree and leave it blank so that you can get a sense. We just put lights on it and no ornaments or anything. We wait till the day of to add on the rest, but it just adds a little bit of coziness into your home. Friends, that is all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed my Thanksgiving episode of sorts this time. Remember to check out all of those links. You can grab a free cookbook, you can get those Spotify playlists, and you can find the recipe to that incredible pumpkin bread. So don't delay. Go ahead and head on over there and get all of those recipes and goodies headed your way. So have a great week, guys. I will see you one more time to officially tell you Happy Thanksgiving before then. But have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye. What a wonderful